Welcome, everybody. My name is Brenda Selden. Welcome to my channel. I'm a channeler, animal communicator, and energy healer. And in doing work with my clients and with myself, I've learned many soul lessons that I hope to share with you in hopes that it helps you just as it's helped others, including myself. And today I'd like to talk about cord cutting. And as you may have noticed, I titled this video, Higher Souls Don't Cut Cords, They Refashion Them. And so for those of you unfamiliar with the concept, cord cutting is when one person cuts off the energetic ties they have with someone else. And oftentimes people choose to do this in a ceremonial, symbolic, spiritual manner because the other person has caused them harm in some way, caused them suffering. And so they feel that they may be trapped by them or they can't move on from them in some ways. And when we think about cord cutting, the idea of it isn't just symbolic, that we're in a relationship with someone, whether that's romantic, it's a friendship, or it's a familial relationship with our siblings, with an aunt, with a parent. In reality, we are energetically connected one to the other. And so in a relationship, whether it's good or bad, there is an exchange of energies between oneself and other people. And those energies can differ in intensity and in types based on what you feel for them. If it's a romantic relationship, you'll be exchanging the energies of passion, of love, of romance, of happiness. If it's a familial relationship, yourself and a parent, you'll be exchanging the energies of love between parent and child, and happiness, and the protection. You'll feel protection. When we feel protected by our parents, it's not just a thought or an idea based on their actions. It's actually the energy of protection that we receive through our ties with our parents. And so when a relationship isn't a good one, where there's abuse, physical, mental, emotional, where there's distrust, where there's just imbalance, it might not even be super toxic or anything. It's just not working out. It's just bad. Where you just keep coming together, it doesn't work out, and you find yourselves coming together over and over again. For instance, in a friendship or romantic relationship. So those ties really do bind. The energies really do bind. And when we have ties to one another, even if one isn't participating in that relationship anymore, especially in toxic relationship, what happens is that you're not sending them any energies. You don't want to think about them. You don't want to have anything to do with them, but they're thinking about you, whether they're bothering you or not, whether they keep trying to get in contact with you. Even if they're not, oftentimes when the cords of connection aren't there, if somebody is angry at you, if somebody holds this grudge in their hearts, and they just keep thinking about you in a way where they're angry and they're picturing themselves yelling at you or worse, then all of a sudden there might be a moment where they come into your mind, that other person. You don't feel good, you feel scared, you feel like your energy is drained. And so, yes, definitely there is a place for cord cutting where we don't want to have anything more to do with that person. But when we can, then one of the things that I've learned from my work in the Akashic Records is how to both create the boundaries, energetic boundaries that we need around ourselves so that we don't receive this person's energies that we no longer want to. Because when we're done with somebody, but yet we keep being affected by them, there is a part of us where our energetic boundaries aren't as strong as they can be, maybe because of the relationship has left one in a state of either from sadness or from fear or from lack of confidence, or those relationships that bring down our own self-confidence. But all those are kind of aura rippers, what I call, leaving holes within ourselves, or sometimes even feeling depressed from a relationship not working out, leaves those holes, leave those entryways for those energies to come and affect us even against our will. And so what we can do when possible is to recreate our energetic boundaries, but also create a blueprint or for the relationship, for the future recreation of the relationship into a more positive manner. And so I'll share with you one of the ways that Spirit has shown me how we can do that. As you're seeing here, I've written a very simple letter. And by the way, the name Ella, I know no one by the name of Ella personally. So if your name is Ella, I apologize. I just grabbed it out of the blue, just as an example. And so let's just say I have this toxic relationship with a friend named Ella. And either I don't have the ability to tell them to go away because maybe I'm afraid of them. Maybe they're more strong-willed than I am. And so instead I work with Spirit to remove them from my life where I no longer receive their negative energies. And so I'll write a letter where I talk about what I call the energy dynamics that I no longer allow in my life from them. So, dear Ella, and in the first paragraph, I will no longer allow the following energies from you in my life: disrespect, manipulation, anger, and deceit. And then in the second paragraph, I'll write the energies that I do allow from them if they were to change. These are the energies that I welcome from you in my life: friendship, kindness, support, love, and joy. And then sincerely, Brenda Selden. And then what I'll do is I'll take a bowl with a candle, and sometimes the candle I'll be called to pick a certain color representing what I'm trying to bring in. White for spirit, white or purple for spirit, green for growth or to represent the nurturance of Mother Earth, pink for love. You can do that. You can pick a color that calls to you. And then I'll burn this letter, allowing the smoke to be carried up to Spirit. And so this is a way to communicate with Spirit and let Spirit know how Spirit can help you create these boundaries. And how I'd like to think of this is, imagine those medieval castles, those fortresses, where the walls were made out of thick stone and were really tall. And there was this moat around the castle and one main gated entryway that is being guarded on each side by a soldier. And somebody comes up and is on the other side of the moat and asks to be let in. And the soldier will ask who this is. And if they say this is disrespect, this is manipulation, well, the bridge will not come down. And so that's what you're creating. And because this is a blueprint of possibility, because I like to see my work as being the work toward helping people evolve into higher souls, then we lay down a blueprint of how we would welcome that person back into our lives. Now, when I say welcome them back I don't necessarily mean this lifetime. And once you lay down how you would welcome them back, then you let it go. You allow for the universe to create the opportunity if it's meant to be, because again, as human beings, we have free will and we work in partnership with spirit. And so if we just wait for spirit to just take care of it for us, then spirit might do its best. But when we actually declare what we want and what we don't want, then spirit can go, okay. It's clarity and directness. Think about it as a tuning fork. Then you're vibrating at a certain vibration, and it's very clear. It's this vibration. And then spirit can just bring the other tuning fork and resonate that and create it and amplify it. And so again, we're creating a blueprint or a possible reunion with that person in a better relationship. And we don't have a timeline. It could be this lifetime, it could be the next one. We're just saying that as higher souls, we're not throwing out that person, because in reality, we can't. We have karmic connections with everyone, but are bad. And so if we don't acknowledge that, then that relationship comes back around, that person comes back around. And when that person comes back around to you in another lifetime, it may be replicating the relationship that you just did the cord refashioning ceremony for. So why experience the exact same thing twice? In this way, not only are you empowering yourself by saying, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, this is what I allow, this is what I will not allow. And that kind of clarity then aligns all your different energy bodies. There's no confusion. And it's like those fortress walls. And then spirit and your guides can come in and reinforce that. And then once you say what you allow, if it happens in this lifetime or another one, the fact is that that person can no longer resonate with you in the manner that they did before. So even if they don't change and try to come up to you, it just will not be the same. If they try to contact you again, the energy won't be there, or it just won't be able to happen, or they just might not bother to do it again. And again, when we're in a relationship where we feel that we have to refashion the cords, then it's another reason to do it is because certain relationships disempower us. So when someone's angry or abusive or deceitful, the pain that it can cause us also affects our energy bodies, causing these rips, these holes. And that is a way that the negative energies from the other person can come into you. Because sometimes the other person, their energies stemming from anger, from deceit, is much, much stronger than our own energy stemming from love. And so it's a form of energetic domination. But all we have to do is declare what we want and what we don't want. And then we're in alignment with the universe and with ourselves. And not only that, but as human beings, we work in partnership with spirit. And so having the realization of what was negative about a relationship and what one would like in a relationship that's positive also is a form of seeing ourselves and recreating ourselves. so that even aside from this one person, as we move forward in our lives, now we're resonating in a completely different way, in a way that will bring to us people that are no longer like the person that has caused you pain or harm. And so for many different reasons, this kind of exercise is just important. I called it an exercise because even if we don't do it as a ceremony where we write the letter, we burn it over a candle, we let spirit receive our message and help us, sometimes it's a good idea to just think about situations or people and say, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. And by speaking it into the universe, you're creating it. You're creating a new reality for yourself. So here also, I'd like to share with you a list of what I call the dynamic heart wisdom remedies. And you can see them here. And as you can see here, we have all the positive emotions: joy, light, love, courage, trust, clarity, ease, flow. And so this list isn't just when we're refashioning chords with other people of what we want from them, but sometimes we have to, not so much chords, but refashion the relationship we have with ourselves. So I've found that these dynamic heart wisdom remedies help me when I write a letter to myself. So I'll write, Dear Brenda, because this is earthly Brenda, and I'll sign it higher Brenda or divine Brenda when I think of my higher self. But if, for instance, I'm feeling fear, then I might look at my list and see what resonates for me that would help remedy my fear. Because sometimes fear comes for different reasons. Sometimes fear comes because there's a lack of joy in our life. Sometimes there's fear because what we're trying to create in our lives, we don't have trust in ourselves, we don't have faith. Sometimes we need empowerment. So I like to look at these dynamic heart wisdom remedies and to give myself clarity of why I'm feeling that way. Or if, for those of you who have pendulums and like to do dowsing, you can dowse on what you need. But I find that by reading each word out loud, the one you need resonates for you. And you may discover something about yourself in that way of what your needs are. Or if I'm trying to create something new, a project, or begin a new adventure in my life, I might look over and see, oh, what would be good energies to come into my life and support me in this? So again, you could write a letter to your earthly self from your higher self, and then burn it and let the message be carried and smoke to spirit, so spirit can support you in this. Because again, we're always being supported by spirit, by the universe. But when we're clear about what we need, about what we want, then that clarity is transmitted to spirit. And instead of it being this open-ended, the universe bringing you this, bringing you that, and you're saying to yourself, well, this I want, but this I didn't really need. By you just declaring, I want this, I want that, then the whole thing can just take place much faster. So this is Brenda Selden. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you try this. I hope this was helpful to you. If you did, or if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you've liked my video, please like it. And if you'd like to subscribe so that you can get notified about future videos, please subscribe. And if you'd like a private session to work with me, I'd be delighted to do so.